Welcome back, boss. This is Tara Wagner, and in this video, I want to answer a question that I got from one of you. We've been talking a lot about CEO versus owner versus operator, and I got this question. Tell me if this sounds familiar. I'm trying to work on my business, but it's hard because I'm spending so much time working in it. Then my family needs me, and I end up staying up till 3 a.m. because it's the only quiet, uninterrupted time I have to work. I'm exhausted the next day. I feel like crap. It messes me up, and I end up crashing over the weekend and neglecting my family again, so they get extra needy, and it's just a vicious cycle. How do I take better care of myself and grow my business when I just really don't have the time for all the things? Comment with all the things if you feel like you could have written this exact question. I know I've been there. I know so many of you are there as well, especially in 2020 when things are crazy and the kids are doing school at home and maybe you've got little ones running around. Things are crazy enough when you're trying to build a business from home. This year it's especially crazy. And what can happen is you start to feel overwhelmed, then you get frustrated, and then you feel like maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this, or this isn't the right time for me. And what do we end up doing? We end up quitting. So what I want to do in this video is share 4 mindset shifts that you need to take on this stance. And then I want to share 9 practical strategies to help you get through this. Mindset shift number 1 when it comes to balancing work and life is to remind yourself often that this is only a difficult season, not a life sentence. I realize, especially when your kids are little and you're juggling all the hats you're supposed to be wearing, that it's very easy to feel like it's never going to end or it's never going to get easier. And I promise you, it is. This too shall pass, even if it has to pass like a kidney stone. It's gonna pass. I want you to remember that this is just a season so that you don't give up thinking that it's never gonna get any better. The second mindset shift really comes around shifting your focus. I want you to stop focusing on the idea that everybody else has some magic bullet or some secret that they're just not letting you in on, and shift to the fact that everybody goes through this same thing. Yes, some people may be further down the road. Maybe they've already figured out some things that work for them. Maybe they're in a pretty good place now, but everybody started where you are right now. It is a lot to juggle when you're talking about life and work and business and family and all the different aspects that we're trying to move forward. You're not crazy. You're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you if you're struggling right now. It doesn't mean you're missing anything. It just means you're at the start of the path that everybody gets to travel. Mindset shift number 3 is that everyone will go through periods of stress or sacrifice. And this doesn't mean that you're attracting bad things or again, that you're doing anything wrong. It goes back to those seasons of life. There are some seasons that are messier than others. Now, I do believe that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So yes, you will go through messy seasons, especially if you've got young children at home while you're building a business, while you're trying to take good care of yourself. It's gonna be messy. And that's natural. It's a part of life. No one is promising that things are going to be smooth and peachy keen every day of your life. Our goal is to smooth out as much as we can so that when we hit those periods of stress or sacrifice, we can navigate them a little bit easier. So right now, it might be a period of sacrificing certain things, but there are certain things that you should not be sacrificing either. And we're going to get into those as we get into the practical strategies. And then the 4th little mindset nugget that I have for you is that I want you to realize that right now you are at a crossroads. In one direction, you have the opportunity to up-level. This is an opportunity for you to grow, to get better, to get skilled. And in the other direction is the opportunity for you to quit. And I realize that you don't think that sitting right here will make you quit, but I'm here to tell you that it will. If you do not take the path of up-leveling, you will eventually be going down the road that leads you to quitting. And if this work that you're doing matters to you, if the thing that you're wanting to create in business and in life matters to you, then I want you to take this as an opportunity to up-level. I want you to look at it with gratitude even, saying thank you so much for this opportunity to up-level. If we don't get into the gym and lift the heavy weights, we don't get the muscles, right? Well, this is your gym. This is where you get to lift some heavier weights than you've lifted before. And if you don't take that opportunity, The only other direction is to give up. So mindset shifts are helpful. We need them, but we also need practical strategies and tips so that we can navigate this, right? We need to know, okay, how do I put this into action? What do I do with this new mindset? So let's go into 9 different practical strategies that can help you balance work and life a little bit better. Strategy number 1 to balancing work and life and business and self-care is to know your boundaries. Know where you draw the line. So in other words, let's say you have a hard line of, I will always be there at dinner time with my family. That is a firm line for you. You may not always be there in other situations, but you know no matter what, that's a boundary and you will make sure to protect that boundary. Maybe in your business, you know that no matter what, you're gonna do X, Y, or Z every single week, even if it's only 1 to 2 hours working on this long-term project, you're gonna make sure that you protect and maintain that time. What are your boundaries? I want you to write them down, and I want you to write them down among 3 things. I want you to know your boundaries around your work. What will you accept and not accept no matter what? Do not set impossible standards for yourself. Be realistic, but know what your boundaries are. What are those boundaries around your health and self-care? What are you not willing to negotiate on? What are you not willing to sacrifice on? And what are the boundaries around your loved ones? Whether that's a partner, whether that's children, whether that's friends, where are those limits? Where will you not cross that line? When you know these boundaries, the next thing you need to know is that there will be times when you cuddle up right next to them. Because again, life is messy and it's going to test those boundaries. Not because it's trying to test you, but because life is messy. And naturally, we're going to come up against those situations. So know that it's natural. But when you know what those boundaries are, you're going to be so much more able to protect them, right? Awareness has to happen first before anything else. So I literally want you to write down, what are your boundaries in those areas of life? What will you always, no matter what, make sure that you maintain? Number 2, I want you to list what are your top 3 priorities, the top 3 things that are most important to you. And you can again do these in these same categories, the top 3 things in your business, the top 3 things in your self-care, the top 3 things when it comes to loved ones. What are the things that you want to prioritize above all else? Now, again, don't set impossible standards for yourself. You're not going to be able to get this perfect. But the more you're aware of what your actual priorities are, or you can look at them as your needle movers, the things that are most important to take care of and grow your business, to take care of yourself and to take care of your loved ones, when you know those things, you can actually move the needle on them. It's important to remember that we don't manage time because time is an immovable object. No amount of managing it is going to give us more than 24 hours in a day. But what we actually manage is our priorities. And when we get our priorities straightened out and we get those on the calendar first, it can start to feel as though we have more time because the most important things are getting taken care of. Strategy number 3 for balancing work and life and all the things is to actually do a time audit and to be honest with yourself in this time audit. I want you to look over a period of 3 or 4 weeks at least and really say, where has my time been going? Why has it been going there? And how's that working for me? A lot of times we're going to see a lot of time going to something that we think is necessary. For instance, maybe we need rest, we need downtime, but we're spending a lot of time scrolling through our phone or binge watching something, and it's not actually giving us the rest that we need. We're not actually feeling recharged. When we can look at those things, we can ask ourselves, how's it working for me? Is this the best way to meet those needs? Is this the best way to get those things done? Is there something that I can do differently here? Now, here's the trick to a time audit. You got to write it down. You got to actually see it black and white in front of you. If you're thinking about it in your head, I promise you, your vision will be distorted around it because you're looking through your lens. But if you put it black and white in front of you, I spent this many hours on this and this many hours on that and this many hours on this, you're going to see black and white in front of you where your actual priorities lie. Are you prioritizing those things that you listed before? Or are you prioritizing something else? You're getting lost in the busy work and not getting the real work done. Strategy number 4 comes after that time audit. And this is to ask yourself, what can slide right now? If you're in a stage of life or a season of life that is just messy, something gets to give, right? Now, again, it shouldn't be your self-care. It shouldn't be your family, and it shouldn't be your big goals. But it may be aspects of that. Maybe self-care is really important to you, as it should be, but maybe you don't get to do it in the exact way you want to do it. Maybe you would love to go running every single day, but that's just not going to happen right now, and you got to find a different way to do it. Maybe you would love to be able to eat organic, whole foods every single meal, but right now, you're eating stuff out of the freezer because that's just what you got to do. Again, if you know where your boundaries are and where your limits are, you can still meet your needs. They just might get met in a different way. Something got to give, right? Something's got to slide. You got to let something go. And I know you have high standards, and I know you don't want to hear that, but you get to hear it. You get to ask yourself, what gets to give? What do I get to let go of? What really is at the bottom of this priority list? And it may be something you like, and it may be something that would be a really great idea, but you just don't get to prioritize it for now, just for this season, right? Be honest with yourself. Let some things go so you can create some breathing room so that you can focus on what does matter, so you can feel energized again, and then you can look at, am I ready to bring this back in? Speaking of taking things off of your list, speaking of feeling re-energized, I want you to look at that time audit again, and I want you to say, what can I delegate? What can I hire out? What can I barter? What can I do to outsource things on this list that take the most time and energy from me and give me the smallest returns? There are things that you're doing right now that someone else could do 10 times better, 10 times faster, and maybe even with 10 times the results. And I know that it's difficult to be able to outsource, and this is why bartering can come into play, but at some point in your business, you're gonna have to stop doing all the things. So that either means letting them go completely or finding someone that can help you to do them. The reason that we do this leads us into number 6, which is to focus on your closest to cash income producing activities. Now, I've talked a lot about income producing activities. These are the things that directly, not indirectly, but directly produce income in your business. And closest to cash is the one that creates the cash the fastest. It's the easiest or the fastest to implement so that you can start getting revenue in. A great example of this is spending less time fiddling with your website and more time doing things that directly lead to sales. Sales emails, sales pages or promoting sales pages, ads to products or services, or sales conversations, whatever that looks like for you in your business. Now, I know that a lot of times we feel like, well, but my website needs to be updated and I need to tweak this, I need to do that. The truth of the matter is that you don't. I know 6, even 7-figure entrepreneurs that don't even have a website, right? That is busy work. The most important thing are the things that lead to sales, and that's sales conversations in some way, shape, or form. I know you want everything to be picture perfect before you actually start doing more things in your business or bringing in more traffic, but I would rather you bring in more revenue and then take that revenue and put it into perfecting things down the road. Done is better than perfect, right? It is more important that you're doing things that create revenue than doing things that just look good. The reason number 6 is so important is that it directly leads into strategy number 7 for balancing work and life. And that is to take the income or any free income that you have and invest it into things that will buy you more time and energy, not more things. So this means that you're investing in systems that free up your time, that automate things so that you can be spending more time on income producing activities. This means investing in people who can take their skills and apply it to your business and into systems or funnels or sales in your business to increase those things. This does not mean taking your hard-earned income and up-leveling your social media presence or up-leveling your website or making things look pretty or making things whatever. It means making sure that any free dollar you get buys you time or buys you skills that will allow both of those things to lead to more sales, more revenue. Again, revenue is like the thing in the business, right? And so many business owners forget this. They think their business is about something else first. And it is. Your business is about people, and it's about serving people, and it's about solving problems and taking care of and providing solutions to people. But in order to do that, You've got to be making money. You've got to be doing things that will allow you to sustain that level of service or that level of care that you want to give, which means you've got to prioritize the things that will make sales. The more you prioritize sales in your business, the better you're going to be able to balance work and life, because now you've got more income coming in to outsource more things, to free up more time, to free up more mental space so that you can actually enjoy your life. I know you got into business to enjoy your life, not just to work for yourself and hate your boss. In order to do that, it means you need to be prioritizing the right things, the right habits, which leads us in to number 8. You need to take a good hard look at your habits and make sure that they are prioritizing what really matters and what's going to get you the most bang for your buck. And this means your self-care habits, and this means your business habits, and this means all of those things. Now, I did a video on 7 money-making habits, and I highly recommend you watch it after this one because it's going to walk you through what some of those habits are. One of them in particular that I want you to spend close attention to is analyzing the results of what you're doing. Now, in that video, I really talk about analyzing your numbers, your conversions, things like that. But I want you to analyze the results of everything that you're doing. Is this thing I'm doing for self-care actually making me feel better? Is this thing I'm doing for my family actually filling their cup so that I can take some time away from them now, right? We need to analyze and make sure that the habits that we are creating or that we're maintaining are actually creating what we want. And we're not just running on autopilot, trying to get the things done and not realizing that the things we're doing just really don't make any sense anymore. And speaking of self-care habits, this now leads us into strategy number 9. At the minimum, when it comes to your self-care, I want you to do 2 things. I want you to establish simple self-care bookends on your day, and I want you to establish simple self-care habits. And I mean so simple, like 30 seconds of self-care. Just a little tiny bit of something to fill your cup, help you to feel good so that you can do better in your day. I talk about both of these things, both the bookends and the self-care habits, in my self-care in seconds training. This is a free training, and I highly recommend you grab it because I talk about some other things as well. But in there, what I describe is your bookends are the simple habits that you do at the beginning of the day and the end of the day to meet your basic self-care needs, whatever those might be for you. And with that self-care in seconds training, I also have a PDF with literally dozens, over 70 different self-care ideas. Many of them can be done in 30 seconds or less. So if this is something that you struggle with, filling your cup, feeling balanced, feeling good so that you can go and do good in your business, I highly recommend you grab that free training. It's about a 15-minute video training, and it comes with that long list of ideas, and it's going to help you have the mindset shifts around self-care, and it's going to help you have the strategies as well that will allow you to make the necessary changes so that you can start feeling good and doing good in your business, in your life, in your family, in all of the things. Okay, so we've covered a lot in this video. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to rewatch this video, and I want you to absorb those mindset shifts again. And then I want you to go through each strategy and actually do the work. If nothing changes, nothing changes, right? If you don't actually implement from a video like this, you don't get anything out of it. Nothing changes, and you go back to feeling stressed out, overwhelmed, and wanting to quit at some point. I don't want you burning out in your business, but that means you got to actually do the work. So that's the first thing that I want you to do. Rewatch this video, do the work, start implementing, be patient, and give yourself time to make the changes necessary. The second thing I want you to do is grab that self-care in seconds training, because if you are burning out, you need to put a stop to that right now. You cannot run a business sustainably if you are not functioning properly. So you must stop, take some time, go through that training. It's short and sweet, but it is good, and it will make a big impact on how you're feeling. After that, then you can check out the videos in the description. There's more strategies, ideas, tips that will feed off of this one and help you implement what we talked about here a little bit better. Now, if you're brand new here, you should know my name is Tara Wagner. I'm a belief breakthrough coach. I help female entrepreneurs crush their goals, not their soul, by getting their heads, their hearts, and their habits straightened out. So if that sounds like your jam, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Make sure you comment and let me know your biggest takeaways or any questions that you have. And if you're brand new here or you've never commented before, let me know who you are, what it is you do, and what your biggest burning questions are that I might be able to support you with. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for being mindful enough to want to run a life and a business and a home that makes sense and that feels good. We need more people like you, so I appreciate you. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next one.